So, Luke, we're looking ahead to Nice taking on Rangers. What is the attitude towards this Nice side in France at the minute?
I think this is a Nice side still in construction a little bit after having been deconstructed completely at the start of the season or in the summer, where they lost their sporting director Florent Ghisolfi, they lost their manager Francesco Farioli, who was taken over to Ajax. And they replaced it with two figures that everyone knows very well in France, in Florian Maurice, the sporting director from Rennes, and in Francaise, the manager from Lens, who worked absolute miracles during his time at Lens, taking them from Ligue 2 all the way to the Champions League and to just within 1 point of PSG two seasons ago in the league. So it's a side that is very much rebuilding, and what Hez is trying to implement is completely the polar opposite of what was instilled by Farioli 12 months prior. So what you see is some teething problems, but he sees, and I think the greater French public and the media see, that there's very much progress. And what you're starting to see is a more dangerous and more attack-minded team, a more positive team that's full of some really exciting young players, especially in the forward line, and also a rejuvenated Tanguy Ndombele midfield as well. So what we're seeing is a more exciting Nice team that has also not compromised really its defensive solidity to a great extent, despite the loss of Jean-Claire Todibo, who went to West Ham in the summer. So it's a team that I think everyone expects to be there or thereabouts in the conversation for Europa League, maybe even Champions League football once again come the end of the season. But it's still a little bit of a team that is still trying to build and still trying to implement this new style, which, as I say, is so different from what came before it.
And who really are the danger men for Nice, and what kind of style may we see them adopt, especially at home to Rangers?
So, I mean, the danger men, you're probably looking at Ndombele, but you're also looking at Mohamed-Ali, who went away from Ligue 1, who went to Real Sociedad, who came back and has since performed extremely well, especially at the start of this season. So I'd say that he's very much one to look out for. Another one is Evan Gesson, who is a centre forward, can sometimes play out on the left and has been playing out on the left a little bit more often, but he is, I like to call him the most complete incomplete striker in Ligue 1. He is formidable at every single facet of the game, apart from putting the ball in the net, which is obviously a little bit of an issue for a striker, but I think he's a very good player and will cause plenty of issues. Yeah, as I say, Ndombele, and then really both of the wing backs, Jonathan Klaus on one side, of course, a France international, Melvin Bard on the other side, a potential future France international. I rate both of them very highly, and Frances's system is very predicated on those fullbacks getting really high, really being on the last line of the defence. And Klaus's output in terms of statistics over the past few years is really quite impressive. So he, despite being a defender on paper, is really one of your big danger men, one to look out for in the attacking third as well. But there's so many different threats in there. There's also Mukoko, a former next big thing. Can we say that, even though he's still under 20? But he's not quite lived up to those expectations yet. He's on loan from Borussia Dortmund. Morgan Sanson, who Premier League fans may or may not remember from his time at Aston Villa. He's had a bit of a revival, started the season injured, and Jeremy Boga as well. Really, this is a side that is filled with lots of attacking, lots of very exciting players. And it's starting to show in their results and how many goals they're scoring, how many chances they're creating as well. Lots of the threats come from really everywhere, but it'd be difficult to keep them all quiet, I'd say, on the night, but finishing remains a big issue in this team.
And just finally, I know there'll be a lot of Rangers fans heading out towards the coast. What can they expect when they arrive in Nice?
I'd like to say hopefully some lovely weather and temperatures around 15 degrees. That's what we love at this time of year. Nice is a lovely city. I've been here for 3 years, and I love the winters in particular because it still almost feels like British summer. When it's sunny, at least you get the temperatures which are about 15, a lovely bit of sun. Might be a bit chilly to get in the sea, but I think the Scottish would probably brave that. I sometimes do as well. So yeah, it's a lovely winter destination. So there's plenty going on around the football, and then the stadium itself isn't the easiest to get to. I know that lots of fans sometimes make the walk out to it. It's a little bit far. It might take you a little while. If not, you're on the tram, which gets lovely and crammed very, very early. So yeah, the actual getting to the stadium experience, not always the easiest, but once you're in there, I find it's a great stadium. Can have some great atmospheres on these big nights.
I'm sure something that all Rangers fans will be thoroughly looking forward to. Luke, thanks again for joining us on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel.